Hey YouTube, and welcome to Joe's Barbecue House. And today we're going to do pork belly candy bites. Let's start out with the ingredients today for these pork belly candy bites. We'll start off here with the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. We have some open pit. We have some sweet and spicy chili sauce, grape jelly, apple jelly, kosher salt, honey, garlic powder, coarse ground black pepper, and some Carolina Reaper paste. Ooh, that ought to be yummy. And of course, our dark brown sugar. Let's go ahead and get this rubbed together. First thing you're going to need is your mixing bowl. And then we're going to use 1 cup of kosher salt, a half a cup of coarse ground black pepper. We'll do a half a cup of garlic powder. And we're going to do 2 cups of dark brown sugar. The next thing we're going to need is our pork belly. This one here I had in the freezer, for maybe a week or so, not even, and it took about 3 days to defrost. Just pulled it out of the refrigerator. It's just a hair over 10 pounds and it was right around $30 for it. Next thing you'll need is going to be your rub that we mixed earlier, and a large cutting board with a knife, and of course some gloves. All right, the first thing we want to do is put your gloves on. And here you'll see in this area there's some silver skin. And what we like to do is get that off. So let's go ahead and you don't have to go crazy with it. Just sometimes it just peels right off. Just kind of rub your knife, see how it, set that right there. Like I said, you don't need to get it all off, but your rub will not penetrate through that. So we're just going to trim some of this fat off. Okay. Now I would say probably 45% of this is all fat anyway, so we're all good. It's just that silver skin is what you want to get off best you can. So we're good there. So what we want to do is cut this in slices, okay? And how we're going to do that is I'm going to go ahead and score about, let's say we'll do 1.5 inch squares. So I'm just going to score it to get my lines. All right, now that I got my marks, I'm going to go ahead and cut all the way through. Okay, for those of you that don't know, well, what does that look like? That looks like bacon, don't it? Well, that's where your bacon comes from. It's from the pork belly. So now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and change this glove because I was touching the meat on accident, is we're going to cut across this way. And we're going to get our cubes. It'd be like 1 by 1 inch squares. And we'll be back. What we want to do now is go ahead and get this pork belly, our cut up candy bites. Let's get some seasoning on these things. I went ahead and put a fresh pair of gloves on. One hand is going to rub the meat and the other hand is going to go into the rub, so we're not contaminating. So just sprinkle it all over. We're going to get this all over these bites. Okay, let's go ahead and get this all mixed in. We're going to turn them and flip them and kind of mix them all up together. Let's get all that flavor on there. This here is a 3-tier rack system that I had put together out of all stainless steel hardware. The racks I had gotten on Amazon, and I don't remember how much they were, but I could put the link in the description if you'd like me to. This here is the name brand. You go ahead and pause that to read that if you'd like. And they're very highly constructed. It's got 3 center bars, support bars here. Very sturdy, nice and sturdy. Perfect for these pork belly bites or pretty much anything, chicken, whatever. This one here I'm going to use on the 22-inch kettle. And I had a half of pork butt. I had a half of pork belly from last weekend that I had cut and put in the freezer, pulled it out, and I'm going to line them up on this rack, and this is what we're going to use on the 22-inch Weber kettle. This one here will go in my Weber Summit charcoal station. Let's go ahead and get this Weber 22 fired up. Today we're going to use hickory wood chunks, and of course everybody knows Kingsford charcoal. Let's go in and add our drip pan. All right, while we're waiting for these to get up to temperature, I'm going to go ahead and put those bites we just cut up and seasoned, pull them out the refrigerator, and go ahead and get them put on the racks. Okay everybody, it's been about 10 minutes. The grill's sitting at 300 degrees. And what we're going to do is put this rack in here. And keep it as close as you can opposite of your coals. That looks pretty good right there. And these strips here, they're not cubed up, but sometimes those make some, or I should say all the time, those make for some really good eating too. So we'll go ahead and pop the lid on. Remember, vent opposite a coal. The target temperature here is between 250 and 275 degrees. And we're going to let these stay on here for about an hour and a half. All right, let's go ahead and get this sauce together. This part of the recipe, you're going to want the Carolina Reaper paste. You're going to want the sweet and spicy chili. You're going to want the Sweet Baby Ray's. You want some sort of hot plate, a burner. You can use your stove in the house. I like using stainless steel pots. You're also going to want your apple jelly, your honey, your grape jelly, your brown sugar, a half cup measuring cup, and a spoon. And what we're going to do is take all these ingredients and go ahead and get them into our pot. You're approximately going to have a couple cups of the Sweet Baby Ray's, a half a jar of the apple jelly, probably the same amount of the grape jelly, approximately a cup of brown sugar, and we'll add about a cup of the sweet and spicy chili, and then a few squirts of the Carolina Reaper. This has been going for about maybe 5 minutes or so, and you just want to get it to where it's smooth, get all the lumps out. And by the way, I bought this thing years ago, this heating element. It's an electric stove, I guess. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty nice, because you would think this whole surface would be hot. But I'm going to take my hands here and watch this. It's only hot where you put the, no, I guess we got an error code because I can't read the pot. There we go. But very nice. Didn't even know it really, well, I heard something that it did do it years ago. I wasn't sure, so I just went ahead and went like that to test it, and it was fine. But anyway, let's get this sauce mixed up. We'll just let it sit for a few minutes. You don't want to get it too hot because there's a lot of sugar in there, and you don't want that burning. That's why we want to go with a low heat. let's go ahead and get these wrapped in foil. What you're gonna need is a foil pan. You're gonna need some butter, a whole stick of butter, because we're gonna fit the whole pork butt inside of this pan here, the one that's on this Weber Summit. You're gonna grab your honey, get your brown sugar. Obviously, you know you need a butter knife. Let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. Yes, these are definitely ready to be put in the foil. They're looking really good. You can see the bark on there. Very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and transport these and I'll get back with you guys on the Weber. And by the way, it's been about hour and 45 minutes on this. I know I said an hour and a half, but temperatures were steady at 250. I didn't want to mess with any of the settings, so I decided to just let them go on a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and get these foiled up. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and get these candy bites put on into the foil pan here. By the way, you should have thin insulated gloves because this is pretty hot, but it's all good. Yeah, I guess I should have put on my hot mitts. That makes it a whole lot easier. These things are really nice. You don't want to be messing around here too much because you really want to get these off because your grill's just going to fire up too hot. Okay, I got a little problem here. I don't know if it's the sugar or something that from the steam or whatever. This one's being a booger, man. Golly. Okay, we're gonna have to come back, guys. Okay, we're back. I would like to get, had to get a wrench. I'm not sure why this thing was giving me such a problem, but we should be good now. Oh shoot, it's just turning on the thing. I'm just loosening it down there. All right guys, I'm gonna have to figure something out here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this off and I'll figure out this technical difficulty another time, because we got to keep this show on the road. Ooh, these things are tender and hot. All right, let me go ahead and get this moved out of the way. It's warm enough now, or cool enough now that you could touch it. Just set it aside here. I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. But meantime, what we're gonna do, spread these out. Now remember, this is the whole pork belly right here. I have a half of one cut up in this Weber here, which we'll get to here in a minute. Okay, now what we want to do is go ahead and add some brown sugar to this. Go ahead and just sprinkle it all over the top here. And by the way, I went and washed my hands and put a fresh set of gloves on. All right, that looks good. Now what we're going to do is take our honey and just give it a nice coating of a little bit of this honey. Now we'll go ahead and add our butter. Just cut it up, doesn't have to be perfect. But I use a whole stick when I'm doing the whole pork belly. A half a stick on, obviously a half, which is in the Weber kettle. Let's get this butter in there. All right, that's a whole stick of butter. Kind of even it out a little bit. All right, and what you're going to want to do is get you some either heavy duty aluminum foil, or some of these pans, they come with a pan, or like a lid I should say, that you could just tuck right over the top. So just cover it up. And we are going to go ahead and put it back in our grill. Temperatures are close to 275, which is great. I had to shut it down because of the all that time I spent fooling around with that triple rack that I need to redo. So we'll just set the pan right in the middle there. Shut it down. We'll just crack the vent a little bit. And we'll let her go. All right, let's check on the Weber kettle here. See how these things are looking. Oh yeah, they look like they're about ready. Get zoomed in here and we'll check them out. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, they're definitely ready. We're going to do the same thing as we did with the ones that came out the Weber Summit, and we're going to add our honey, our butter, and brown sugar to this half foil pan. The other one was a full foil pan because of the full size pork belly that's inside the Weber Summit. And we have a half of one inside the Weber kettle. Let's go ahead and get this foiled up. All right, let's go ahead and get this transferred over to the foil pan. Let's go ahead and get some heavy duty aluminum foil. I don't have a lid for this one. We'll go ahead and get it on there and get her put back on the grill. And I'm gonna put them on for about, I'd say 45 more minutes, or I should say 45 minutes, and we'll come back and check them out. Okay, so an hour went by, so let's go ahead and check on these. Let's see if they're done and ready to go. Careful guys, the steam is hot. Oh yeah, those things are looking gorgeous. These were off the Weber Summit, and we're gonna check these that came off the Weber Kettle. Okay, these here, I'm gonna have to put these back on because there's a lot of fat here yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these back on for at least another 20 minutes. Okay, now what we're gonna do with these is go ahead and pour a glaze over them. But before we do that, I'm gonna take these and transfer them to a new pan, because all that fat and the grease underneath, I'm sure a lot of people would like that. But for me, I'm gonna transfer them, I'm gonna mix them up and then transfer them into a new pan. So let's go ahead and transfer these. We'll give them a little mix here. Careful guys, these things are a little hot. Probably should have grabbed a spoon, but it's okay. We just wanna roll them around a little bit. You could put those insulated gloves on and put these over them. And a little tip with these gloves, guys, if you wash your hands, make sure they're completely dry before you put these on. These are the large and they're really tight. So I think I need to get the extra large of these nitrile gloves if I'm even gonna think about putting those insulated type, thin knitted gloves. Oh wow, look at these. Oh my God. Super tender, very juicy. So let's get these transferred over into a new pan. I'll be right back. Okay, that was pretty hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use a scooper thing and drain this grease off. Wow, these look amazing. Let's go ahead and get these spread out. And we're gonna take that glaze we made in the beginning of the video and get these coated. And we are not gonna wrap these after we add the sauce because we want those to caramelize on there. So let's just go ahead and get these drizzled on there. Okay, I'm gonna save the rest of this, maybe for a dipping sauce or something. But my God, that looks so good. Let's go ahead and kind of give these a little mix. And like I said, we're gonna put these back on the grill and we are not going to foil them because we want this sauce to caramelize. And when you make that sauce, do not put it in the refrigerator. Just leave it on your stove. You can put a lid on it, put a little piece of aluminum foil over the top because you want to keep it warm. The worst thing you could do is put cold barbecue sauce over your meat. Well, these things have got to be done. Let them on for about 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and check these. Let me grab one. Oh, look at that. Oh, we got to grab this one. Very, very hot. And oh my God. They melt in your mouth. So good. These are going to get devoured, guaranteed. I'm gonna have to steal another one. So look at that. Mm. So amazing. You guys have to try this. I'm gonna try to keep this video down a little bit because we're already going over about a half an hour on this whole like 5-hour deal. So I'll get back to the Weber here in a minute. I'm gonna let them go for a little bit longer and we'll pull them and we'll do the same thing. But we're gonna add Sweet Baby Ray's and open pit and mix that for its own glaze. Okay, so what I ended up having to do was take them out of that foil because they were in there for probably 40 minutes. So I went ahead and bumped the heat up from the 250, 275-ish degree that it was on to 300. And keep in mind, guys, check your coals, okay? Very important. About every hour, check your coals, and then replace them when needed. But what happened is I pulled the trigger too soon on the Weber and foiled them too early. They weren't done enough due to the temps being too low because it was averaging about 250 through the whole cook. So what I'm gonna do, or what I did, is I took them and put them on straight on the grates. I'm gonna leave them on here for about, well, until I see a bark forming here again. And then we're gonna redo this whole process, okay? Sorry about that, guys, but it does happen. Every grill reacts differently. These Weber kettles are awesome, and trust me, it was 100% my fault. I pulled them too early. I should have known. I've done many of these, but it happens. Okay, so it's been about an hour since I put these on, and they are looking much, much better. Gonna have to say, we're gonna have to put these back in the foil pan and let's try to recover from a mistake that I made from pulling them too early, which is not a bad thing. Everybody makes mistakes, it happens. I'm not afraid to admit it. So I'll see you back when we get them in the foil pan. All right, so what we're gonna do is take this pizza spatula. I'm gonna lift these off the grates. Probably the best way of doing it. Because you get a whole bunch in one crack. Okay, let's make this simple. We're gonna take some Sweet Baby Ray's and let's just pour it over the top. The Sweet Baby Ray's is room temperature. And then what we're gonna do is take some of the open pit and get that on there as well. Just kind of mix it in there. This is a great combination. If you like sweet and tangy, this is awesome. Okay, let's get this mixed up. And we'll let these babies glaze on the grill. Smells so good. And I really do apologize for pulling these too early, but I think the recovery is going to be awesome. Oh yeah, they're so tender right now. We'll let these glaze up a little bit. All right. Let's get these back on, uncovered, and we'll let that glaze. I think the recovery come out very, very good. Look at these. Man, let's try to zoom in a little bit. Very nice. Gonna have to get a taste test of these. Let's go ahead and try this one right here. Check that out. Very hot. Oh my God. Hot. Gotta let these rest for a little bit. Let's get a little taste test here. See if we can zoom in there. Can we zoom in right there? Let's try that baby right there. Oh yeah. Just as tender as the last ones. The bark isn't as good as looking wise as the other ones were, but I believe the heat transfer from the other Weber or the other grill was much more efficient because I didn't have a temp probe over here, you know, gauging the heat over here, and the amount of meat that was on the grill. I mean, I've never cooked this much meat as far as the pork belly on this Weber before, but this is my first time doing pork candy bites on this Weber with the single tray. But I tell you what, the outcome is amazing. These really turned out good. Look at this. See if we get that focused in there. Can you guys see that? I'm not sure. Look at that. Oh my God. Go ahead and take another bite here. Wow. Oh yeah. That, you know, that open pit and that Sweet Baby Ray's mixed together with that sweet and that tangy is really, really good. Sorry guys, had to lick my fingers. So good. Now, this will be a snack for later on. These will get devoured as well. Oh, that, by the way, that other pork belly is gone. All of it's gone. I'm gonna take one more. See if we get a good focus in there. Look at that. Very, very nice. Oh, maybe a little too much steam. Hold on, let me see if I get a good focus in here. Oh yeah. Let's take that baby in. Wow. I need a paper towel for my mouth. Holy cow. Okay, well, time to wrap up this video. But if you guys like what you saw, please like, comment, anything that, you know, you would have done different besides higher temps. Subscribe. You have no idea what I'm going to do with this barbecue world. So good. Thank you guys, and have a great day.